Hello. So I wanted to share a beautiful idea that our rabbi taught us a number of years ago related to relationships and how we should view our spouses in relationships. And I'm a big believer that in the healthiest and best of relationships, we absolutely believe, we know that of course we're deserving of the person that we're with, and that this is the right person for us, and that we're worthy of all of those wonderful things in that relationship. But if push comes to shove, and truth be told, that we secretly kind of think to ourselves like, yeah, of course, I'm deserving of this relationship, but, I scored. And ultimately that the other person thinks the same thing. So we both know that we are in the right relationship, and yet we both feel that really we kind of got the better deal if it was totally measured out. And yet if I'm thinking this about my husband, he's likewise thinking this about me. And the very first verse in the Torah actually supports this idea. And we are starting this week. It is the Torah portion of Bereishit, the very first Torah portion that we're beginning again as we read the Torah from anew. And the very first letter in the Torah is the letter Beit. Every letter in the Hebrew alphabet appears once in an enlarged form in the Torah and once smaller. And this is the big debut of the Beit in big. And the letter Beit is numerically equivalent to 2. It's the second letter in the Hebrew alphabet. And there are endless explanations for why it begins with the second letter and not the first. But for the purpose of our discussion, we're beginning with the letter Beit. It's numerically equivalent to 2, which is our reminder that we're not intended to get through life alone, that it's not weak to need another, it's human, and it's holy, and it's beautiful, and it's good. And Beit is also the word bayit, which means home, that we should feel at home within ourselves, that we should create a home for another to feel at home within, and likewise that we feel at home with those that we love and those around us. So our teacher, Rabbi Yitzchak Ginsburg, teaches a beautiful explanation of how the very first verse of the Torah should be understood. And bear with me because it's Hebrew based, but I will explain it, and it's really worth listening through. And so the very first verse in the traditional, just any explanation, any translation you'll read, Bereishit bara Elokim es hashamayim ve'es haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Great. But if we read it a bit differently, the Torah itself has no punctuation. There is no punctuation in the actual scroll that we read, which means that there are various ways of being able to read the same words. So he explains that the way a husband should view his wife is reading this verse as follows. Bereishit bara Elokim, why was the world created? In the beginning, the world was created. At hashamayim ve'at haaretz. You are my heavens and you are my earth. The world was created for me to be able to love you, to give to you, to be with you, to just connect with you in the deepest of ways. Because the word for et with a different grammatical punctuation can be read at, which is you in the feminized form, because Hebrew has masculine and feminine in its tenses. How is it then read the opposite way? How should a wife then view her husband? Bereishit bara Elokim, in the beginning the world was created. Why was the world created? So there's the white space, spacing between words. And yet, once again, this spacing, that empty space, can be kind of maneuvered with. So if we move over one letter, the hey, from hashamayim to the word before it, it is the way you is now read grammatically in the masculine. So Bereishit bara Elokim, at hashamayim ve'at haaretz, because you are my heavens and you are my earth. So that now she, in connection with him, is saying the very same thing. Why was the world created? For me to connect with you, for me to be able to give to you and have this relationship with you. And when both people are so focused on how they can enhance the life of the other and are so appreciative of this person and recognizing that I came into this world to be able to love you, to be able to connect with you, to be able to have this relationship with you. You are my bait. You are my two of the very first opening letter in the Torah, that is ultimately what it's about. So as we begin our Torah, reading it anew, we should really be blessed to know how loved we are, to know how much love we have to give, to express that and appreciate that and recognize that, and ultimately feel it in all areas of our life. So have a beautiful Shabbos, and we'll continue this next week.